technical training event, guys. Host of speakers there. Just go to nationalcleaningexpo.com and check that out and get registered, especially if you're from the area in Houston. I mean, you guys, if you're in the Houston area, there's about 1,200 contractors in the Houston area. We're set up for quite a few people at this event. We just came off of the Panhandle where we had several hundred people there, and it was a great event. But I'm here today to talk about some commercial sales, and I'm going to be doing a commercial sales talk at the Houston event, guys. And I'm going to really bring it. I had a how you doing there, Justin? I had a inspirational talk that we had at the Panhandle event, and it was really, really a cool deal. Chime in, guys, if you're here, man. Like it, share it. I appreciate it. I'm going to give a couple commercial tips. I'm only a commercial guy. I don't do residential stuff. I can help you out with residential, but I mean, residential is a game of just, working your SEO. SEO is very important in the residential world, as well as, doing your dynamics of having your flyers, doing 5 rounds, having bandit signs, things like that. All that stuff, all that marketing really helps perpetuate more and more calls and more traffic. But that doesn't work for commercial. The way you go after commercial and the way the budgets work in commercial, you really got to understand them. You also have to understand the buyer. It's not Susie Homemaker. This is a professional. I call it a pro buyer. They're pro buyers. So these are people that their job is to solely hire you. That's what they're paid to do. One of the great things about commercial work is people don't realize is that there's a budget. There's money there to be spent. In these pro buyers, they're hired to spend the money, and you've got to know what they do, their purpose. I can't stress enough in sales that you have to know who you're selling to, and it's a very, very important thing. And there's a lot of folks out there that just don't understand that it's not the same mechanics of the residential aspect of going after a customer. One of the other things I want to let you guys all know is that I don't go after one and done accounts. These are all residual accounts. If you want residual income, commercial is the way to go. These people repeat, whether it's a fast food place, a fine dining place, a retail shopping center, industrial complex, industrial, altogether, anything. These people need these services on a regular basis, and they need to be washed frequently. Restaurants get washed an average of 2 times a month. And I know some of you are going to go, no, they don't, Ron. They're not being washed in my neighborhood. They are. They're just being washed badly. And man, I hate to tell you this, but possibly you've done a bad job at marketing to them and letting them know that you could do the job potentially to a higher standard without bashing your competition. Remember, guys, in the sales game, never bash your competition. There's only 2 things that'll happen. These are the 2 things that'll happen. They won't use either one of you. If you bash your competition, they will find a third party and they will use them. So don't bash your competition. That doesn't work. It's unprofessional. I don't recommend it. I also want to tell you guys, if you see a competitor doing something that's wrong, don't think you're going to report them. I would talk to them, and yeah, if they're butt heads, they're butt heads, but just let it go and don't worry about it. But reporting somebody to the authorities if they're doing something wrong is no good. It doesn't ever result in a positive thing for you or your company. So getting back into the sales thing, there's many effective ways that you can go about doing commercial sales. And it's just sometimes good old fashioned, just knocking on the door. And you have to go visit these clients, and you have to show them what you can do for them. Not bash your competitors, but actually show them what you can do for them. A lot of times, and I'm going to explain this simple little process because this is a really good tip. If you offer them a free cleaning or you offer them a partial cleaning or whatever it is that you do, sometimes that's the best way to cut to the chase. on average, if you're in a sales situation, you know, statistics say you've got to visit somebody 5 to 8 times. Well, I believe in sales mastery. If you can master sales, then it means that you're not visiting them 5 to 8 times. You can build their confidence and trust in maybe 2 visits, sometimes even 1 visit. And that's what sales mastery is all about. And the way you do this, and guys go, I will never do anything for free. Guys, it's the cost of acquisitions. If you want to go there 8 times and waste your time and not do anything for them for free, listen to this for 1 second, just 1 second. So if I go and I knock on the door of a potential client and I'm able to get them out there and show them what I can do a little section and show them the difference. The next time I visit them, it's either, do you want this cleaned or don't you want this cleaned? And a lot of times, once you show them on the first visit, it's either, hey man, do you want this cleaned or don't you want this cleaned? There's no more coming back. They know exactly what you can do, who you are, and what you provide. And remember, always give them the price after the demonstration. Don't give them prices prior to the demonstration. Make them see the demonstration, make them see your sample cleaning, make them see your free cleaning before you give them the price. The thing about this is that the visits now have went from 1 or 2 visits. You don't have to do 8 visits to try to sell this customer. Now, some would say, well, why would you do that for them for free? Well, it's not really free. It's a cost of acquisition. And I saved myself potentially 6 more visits. That 6 more visits would have cost me a lot of money. And we figured out long ago that 9 times out of 10, we could even wash a smaller place for free for them to show them what we could do for them versus visiting them 8 times. This strategy has absolutely made me a lot of money and saved me a lot of money. And the funny thing is, everybody goes, but you did it for free. That cost you. No, it didn't. Listen, I'm not going to have to visit them 8 times to make the sale. I'm only going to have to visit them 1 time, maybe 2 times. And that's it. Because once you've shown them that, it's basically shit or get off the pot. Do you want me to provide a regular service for you so this can stay nice and clean like you have it now? Or do you want to continue without saying this to them, but in their minds, you have to put it in there? Or do you want to continue staying with the service that's inferior and you're not clean and you're still paying a bunch of money for it? Well, it should become a no-brainer at that point that they would want to make the switch, right? Now, it doesn't always work out that easy. Sometimes it still takes another visit. Sometimes you find out you don't have the right guy. And I'm going to get into this with you. Make sure you're not giving this demonstration to the dishwasher. And I'm going to that extreme. If you're in a restaurant situation, you want to make sure you have the guy in front of you that makes those decisions. And sometimes the only way you can know that is just to ask them. Say, hey, do you take care of the exterior cleaning? Sometimes, even if it's the general manager, they'll say, no, my KM, which is the kitchen manager, handles all of that. Well, guess what? Then you want to give the demonstration to the kitchen manager if he's the guy that makes those decisions. So the bottom line is you always want to make sure that you have the guy that has the authority to do the hiring. Now, a lot of times people will say, and this is another tip for you, they're going to say after they get done, they're going to be like, hey, or before, they'll be like, hey, we don't handle that, corporate does. You know, 80% of the time, that's a lie to get you out the door and get you off their back. Well, what I always like to do, and this is another little tip, what I always like to do is I like to, before I go in and give them the demo, I will have already done the demo outside. Yes, without asking them. I don't ask anybody anything. I've never been arrested for removing somebody's dirt for them or had anything happen that was in ill effect. We're always willing to take care of the spot we cleaned and clean it up for them and make it look really good before we leave. That's all they're really ever panicked or worried about once they see it. But getting back to this, when I go inside, I will have already pre-done the demo also on a video. So if they give me the runaround of, hey, I've got somebody else that can somebody else handles that at corporate, then I immediately play the video and say, who would I send this video to of the demonstration I've just done outside? Who is it? Who is your boss that handles this? Now, they don't want this going to their boss because they're ultimately the ones that are responsible for the clean restaurant. Immediately, they will come outside now and see and be ready to show them not just the video that you showed them on your phone, but be ready to do it for them right in front of them. A compelling demo will sell them. And I'll give you guys a little bit of an analogy on how we know this works. Over decades, Kirby Vacuum Cleaner has sold someone a vacuum in your family, and they did this through the power of demonstration. And a demonstration is actually a powerful selling tool. And 9 times out of 10, if you do these demos and you do that, you're going to wind up with clients that will turn to you on the first visit. It will happen. They will turn to you and just go, when can you get this done? And right away, price wasn't even a concern for them anymore because they realize that they have a dirty place and they care about it and they're concerned. Those are the people those are the kind of clients that you want. Now, the guy that gets upset, don't worry. The guy that gets upset, you have to remember something. He's pissed off because he's paying somebody to clean this. And now you've just shown him, without saying it, that his guy's not doing the job. And he's upset. And sometimes the ones that are upset really care more. They just didn't understand that they were being ripped off. And we don't want to say this to them because you don't have to. Inadvertently, the power of the demonstration speaks for itself. So you never again have to badmouth or say, wow. Now, what I like to do sometimes is I know they're being serviced because I can see the telltale signs of this being serviced. You got some surface cleaner marks, some wand marks, they kind of basically are half-assing the service. And I always try to pretend like, wow, you're really having service? How often are they doing it? And then they'll tell you twice a month. You're like, wow, that's crazy. But again, don't ever badmouth them. Just act surprised, like, wow, you're really being serviced twice a month, man. And then just, and leave it at that. You don't have to go and elaborate like, wow, this is pretty shitty, da 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 da. They are already internalizing that they've been ripped off, and you got to let them get through that emotional state first. And once they get through that, they might even say, hang on a minute, I'll be back. And I'll tell you what they're doing if they say, hang on a minute, I'll be back. They're going inside to look at their computer or their paperwork, and they're going to find out the last time the guy was there. And 9 times out of 10, they'll walk out maybe even with that invoice with the date on it saying they wanted to do 2 things. They wanted to find out when the guy was there last so that they can make an excuse for him. Okay. Now, well, he hasn't been here in a month. He just told you it's 2 weeks, but and they're looking for these excuses because sometimes they don't want to admit that they're being ripped off even themselves. So the bottom line is he'll go get the thing. And I've had him say, yes, they were here just 2 days ago. And then the other thing he's trying to establish is he can't remember exactly what he was paying. So he wants to find out what he was paying. And when you actually give him the price, he's going to do a comparison. Now, I'll make another video about this overcoming that your price might be doubled. There's some more strategies around this. Obviously, again, you don't want to say, well, you got what you paid for. I hate that statement when you say you got what you paid for. Do not use that to anyone. Again, it's an insulting thing that, hey, you're a dummy. You got what you paid for. You don't want to say that to them. You don't even want to say it to yourself because in this industry, we should all have a higher standard of, because you don't charge somebody enough money, doesn't mean you shouldn't clean properly. That's on you. We all, if we want to be better and have the standards be higher, we all need to charge the right pricing to give a great service, not a substandard service. And it drives me nuts when guys go, well, he got what he paid for. No, they're paying to get their service. They're paying to get their restaurant clean. They don't understand that, and you have to realize this. They don't understand they're buying time, and that because somebody charges them a lower price, they're going to get less. They don't really quite understand that. And if you guys want to watch my Coke video, and I do a comparison of this whole situation, it's a whole nother video on how you can kind of explain this to them, that that there's a difference in from you to the next guy in the level of service that you can provide, and that level of service comes with all of the things that you can add value to, as far as being a professional contractor, knowing how to clean properly, using the right chemicals, and so on. And yes, chemicals are a big factor in this. Using the right chemicals can cut down maintenance cleaning times by about 30%. If you're using the wrong chemicals, what you're doing is you're making the restaurant dirtier between cleanings, because you're using stuff that's not hydrophobic, and it's actually attracting dirt. And it is making the restaurant look dirty in just a few days. Now, a lot of contractors go, well, why would I want their restaurant to stay cleaner longer? Because, dummy, you're on a maintenance program. And I said dummy, sorry, because you're on a maintenance program, and the more efficiently you can clean this, the more money you're going to make. Time is money, right? I mean, we all know that. So, guys, I hope this video helped you guys today in understanding this little bit of a process. Remember, guys, I'm going to be in Houston. I'm going to do a bang-up sales class. I'm going to probably do a couple of them. I have 5 total presentations, but obviously I can't speak for 5 hours at the event. But I'm going to try to do at least one a day on day 1 and day 2. Guys, it's a free technical training event at WashMart. We've had this event now. I've been doing the Houston event since 2013. We've been there every year in February. It's going to be a great event, guys. It's on the 9th, 10th, and 11th. There's some paid speakers also. John Castile is doing a garage cleaning class that's hands-on. And then Gerald Vest is doing his marketing class, which I'm excited to see that myself. Gerald Vest is also going to take that class. He's offering it online. So if you guys want information on that, man, it's only $99. Imagine Gerald Vest is only $99. But anyways, guys, come on out to this event. Hope that little tip helped you in the commercial world. Look forward to seeing everybody out there at the event. Remember, guys, chime in below, man, on my video and share it. Like it if you liked it. I appreciate the likes. If you guys want to like it, that's always a good thing, man. It helps the algorithms. We look forward to seeing you guys at this event. And yeah, Jake, it is hard. It's tough to get the decision maker. That's why you got to just basically ask them. Guys all the time, how do you find the decision maker? Well, I'm going to be interviewing a guy tomorrow that is part of one of the largest successful restaurant groups on the planet. And I'm going to do an interview with him tomorrow at noon Tuesday at his restaurant. And we're going to talk to him, and we're going to ask him some questions about my relationship with him over the last 20 years, how he's gotten to where he's gotten to as far as being one of the most successful restaurants in the group and the entire empire. They're doing $10.4 million on a single unit. It's pretty crazy. But getting back to how do you find the decision maker? There's a picture. I will post it. And I guess what? Right up there above the door, I got a couple of videos on how to find the decision makers. Go ahead and look for those videos, and you guys can find them online, and you guys will have a good. They're good reads. You can basically probably search my name with just about any question you want, and there's probably a video out there for it. Appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate everybody tuning in today. Look forward to seeing everybody at the WashMart event. Get registered, guys, especially if you're in Houston. It's a free event, but you got to be registered. Look forward to seeing everybody there. Ron Musgraves, Pressure Washing Institute, Contractors First.